Knitting a tube on the Bond River is not nearly as easy as it is on most other double bed machines, because the Bond key plates are made to knit every stitch that is in working position in both directions. There is no slip setting. Because there's a key plate in both carriages, the needles on both beds would want to run into each other, so that wouldn't be any good. You could probably knit a tube with the original Bond River by knitting with just one key plate, first in one carriage and then in the other. But you'd have to stop after each pass, take off the handle, remove the key plate, put it in the other carriage, knit one pass, take off the handle, put the key plate back in this carriage, knit another pass, and repeat every time. That will take a lot of time. If you're a little bit crafty, you can make your own key plates that slip by using a regular Bond key plate as a template. Color the ridges with a washable marker and scan it. Print it out full size. Paste it on a piece of heavy cardboard. Then cut little ridges of cardboard and glue in place over the marks. And if you make a couple of changes like I did here, you can then have key plates that slip in both directions. They would work like this. If the needles are all against the bed, none of them would knit in either direction unless you brought them to forward working position, and then they would knit in one direction, and if you did the same thing in the other direction, then they would knit in this direction also. That's already an improvement, but if you also put a little thing like this on the end of each one of your carriages, then as you're going this way, it will push all the needles to forward working position and they'll knit, while the one on the other end will just skip across these needle butts, but it wouldn't move the needles. So now you could knit a tube just like you can with any other double bed machine. I'm going to set up here to knit a small tube. I'm going to put this key plate back in this carriage here. Close this like that. Set this back over here. I'm going to just E-wrap some needles with waste yarn, and then later I'll switch to the main yarn. This is just to get the needles set up for a tube. I'm going to have 42 stitches for a tube. And this is an easy way to get started. I already have the little nozzle on my yarn that I'll need for the river handle. This over here. Hand cast on comb. Push needles. Open all the latches. I'm not used to doing this in that direction. Okay. Push back. And knit one row. Okay, remove the carriage. Set it over the other end of the table here. Set up the river like this. Put a little piece here in place. Can't tell which is the shorter end. One end seems to be shorter than the other. I don't know why. Put this carriage in place here, then the other. Now I'm using the Elite river handle, but if you have the regular Bond river handle and you'd like to make one, it's fairly easy to make. I just measured all the dimensions of this plastic one and made one from cardboard and just reinforced it with a piece of clear plastic on the top. It was a little bit wiggly here because it's just cardboard, so I made a little stopper, and if you put this in place it adds a lot of stability. It's not as good as the Elite handle, but it works just fine too. Okay, set this up. And I need to rearrange the needles, so I'll have some on each bed. Leaning forward first to open the latches. Hook onto them like I'm going to do a 1 by 1 rib. Transfer this over here. At below. And let's set. And I'll drop one in. It's like I want to always drop one here. Should have had one here too. Come on, drop the stitch here. Hopefully. Get it back. I need to move this over by one anyway. An extra one over here. Also an extra one over there. Now I'm going to bring extra needles forward. I want there to be 21 needles on both sides. And you have all these latches. Push them back. I'll have to count and see how many I've got now. Do the same thing down here. I need an extra one there. And I want an extra one here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. Okay. I'll put the same amount. Now hit one row. I've got all the latches open. So this one isn't. Sometimes they're like almost magnetized. When you move it back, it automatically closes again, like this one here is trying to do. Doesn't look like they're all open. Well, even if they're not, you can always pick up a stitch again. Get one row here. You see, this one didn't knit. That one. All these open. And one in this direction. Let's see if those all knitted. And then I'll just knit another row or two just to get this set up. There's a tube. Okay. Now once you do a couple of rows, I'll do one more. You want to knit one row with ravel cord to separate your cast on from your main yarn. That's what I'll do now. Cut this yarn. Let it drop through the middle. Get a hold of it if you can. I'm having fun doing that right now. Where did it go? I know it's there somewhere. Okay, there it is. Now, get a piece of ravel cord and drop it down through the middle. Some fuzzy yarn in here, doesn't want that to come through there. Get a hold of that. Half a row. One row. Okay. I need to pull this through. Oh, I should have used the other tool. That works a little bit better for that. A better hook on it. Pull this all the way through. Then I need to thread up with the main yarn. Where's the other end of that? Tie this together down here so it doesn't come undone. Now I need to get the main yarn and push it through this nozzle. Then I'm going to manually knit. You need a row of longer stitches. So when I end off, I want to pull one through the other, because I can do the same thing at the end, and then I'll have the same cast on and cast off. Which I really like the way that looks.